You know, the entire Miami Valley is, and most everybody in it is now living in Ohio and is officially in a drought. Here's some animation for you showing the before and after. The entire Miami Valley, moderate drought this afternoon. Here's Storm Center 7 weather specialist Nick Dunn.
Drought conditions are intensifying and are being observed all around Ohio, including here in the Miami Valley. I spoke with Aaron Wilson today about the rapid change in temperature and how that's quickly deteriorating our drought conditions.
Of course, our temperatures are back up now. We're still pleasant in the mornings, right around 60 degrees, but our daytime high temperatures are getting into the mid 80s and upper 80s in some spots. And so that's starting to ramp up, more of that evaporation from the surface.
Stream flows along our rivers, including the Great Miami Basin, have fallen below normal for this time of the year. Wilson, who provides input into the drought updates each week, said that this was one component in upgrading everyone in the Miami Valley to a moderate drought.
Last week, we were talking about how the flows in the Great Miami Basin were still doing okay. They were on the lower side of normal, but they were still doing okay. And then when we saw those drop below zero, that certainly was an indicator for me to say, things are getting worse in the Miami Valley. I think we're looking at widespread moderate drought conditions now across that region.
Some parts of the state are now in severe or extreme drought for the second year in a row. Wilson tells me that those areas may experience what is called an ecological drought.
Ecologically, that's what this is doing, right? It's stressing out the plant life out there, and then they become more susceptible to disease and pest pressure, and that's kind of a good tale to it's a good indicator of these multi-year impacts.
And Storm Center 7 weather specialist Nick Dunn joins us. Nick, you're putting the statewide drought into perspective using soccer.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thought. So I did some digging today, and the state of Ohio has just over 28.6 million acres of land. Well, just about every resident in the state of Ohio is now in a drought. So that number comes out to just over 27 million acres of the state of Ohio are in drought. And in comparison, that would be over 13.5 million soccer fields to try to put that land size to give you something similar. And when we take, instead of the state view, but if we break things down locally, check this out. Last week here in the Miami Valley, only 39% of us were technically considered in a drought. Now that jumped this week big time to over 100%. And Austin mentioned it last half hour, but Mercer County, just the slivers in that severe drought. However, right now that's only accounting for 0.3% of the entire Miami Valley. So let's hope that number does not continue to increase. And of course, to get all of these numbers to go down, we need some rain. And Chief Meteorologist Austin Cheney will break down those rain chances for you in detail. Coming up in the full forecast here in about 15 minutes.